Heroism is finally back, and it has come in the form of Sir Duncan the Tall. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, a show by HBO, has come to a close. It is a Game of Thrones prequel, and it has been taking the world by storm. People are loving it. It's getting 9.9 reviews on episodes. It is a huge success, a rare one in terms of modern day fantasy. Why has this show been so successful? Apart from taking from George R.R. Martin's prequel to Game of Thrones, his novellas, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, the entire success of this falls onto the character, the main character, the hedge knight, Sir Duncan. Why is that? Because finally, we have heroism back in entertainment. Heroism back in fantasy. Masculine, strong, brave heroism. That is something very rare in terms of fantasy series nowadays. We've got like The Witcher, who takes a back seat in his own show. We've got The Wheel of Time, which now focuses on just Moiraine. There's so many fantasy shows that miss the mark, and that is solely because it is not focusing on the things that it should be focusing on, especially in this genre. You need masculinity. You need heroism. You need noble, good, optimistic human beings who have hope for the future, who have hope for humanity, who believes that, yes, what they do matters, and that it's not all for nothing, that the world isn't such a terrible place, and that, yes, they can make a difference. That shows in Sir Duncan the Tall. That shows in this series, and we have been lacking that. From The Witcher to Rings of Power to Wheel of Time, all these modern day fantasy shows that just miss the mark. And that is why A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is different. That is why Sir Duncan is different. In this video, I'm going to talk about it some more, specifically Sir Duncan the Tall and his character. But before we do that, this is what I do and this is what I talk about. I love the fantasy genre, especially when it's done well. That is why I've been talking about this show so much. That's why I'm doing this video today, focusing on Sir Duncan the Tall. Those are the sorts of videos that I do, whether it be trailer reactions, talking about shows, talking about movies. All of that can be found over on my channel. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please consider checking out my channel and seeing if there's anything else that you like. Any sort of support, whether it be a like, subscription, it helps me out immensely. So thank you. There is a reason why people love Ned Stark, why people love Robb Stark, why people love Jon Snow, and in this case, Sir Duncan the Tall. They all have something in common. They're all noble men. They're all masculine, heroic, optimistic, good men. They are good men trying their best in a world that chews them up, spits them out, and a lot of times, especially in the Game of Thrones series, it doesn't go well for good people. Good people, good, noble, true people get effed over time and time and time again. And although a lot of people may think that A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a happy ending, that the good guy wins, I got to thinking about it, and it's like, it's really not that happy. It's really not that happy. Sir Duncan is getting his ass kicked the whole time, beat down time and time and time again. Maybe not physically at first, but just by who he is. He is a nobody. He is a nobody from Flea Bottom. His friends die. His family dies. Well, his family, he doesn't even know his family. He has very little people close to him, and very little people who care about him. That's how he grew up until he found Sir Arlen of Pennytree. Sir Arlen of Pennytree, as we see in the flashback, basically saves his life. Is Sir Arlen a great guy? That is debatable. He won nothing. He did very little in his life. But when it came down to it, especially in the case where Sir Duncan was small, having a fight in the streets, Sir Arlen came, protected him as any good knight should. That stuck with Sir Duncan. All throughout his time growing up until his master died. So time and time again, growing up, he's been beat down. And then even entering into this tournament, time and time again, he gets beat down by the world. Nobody remembers his master. People disrespect him. People basically clown on him the whole time just because of who he is. But yet, despite all that, he is confident in himself, which is weird because it's like he really doesn't have too much to be confident about. He could be nihilistic all he wants, but despite that, it's just something in him that keeps him going, that tells him, hey, you can do something. You can make a name for yourself. You can do this. And even when he gets that glimpse of the one Kingsguard who says, oh, I'm just a crabber's son, but that crabber owns half the fleet to the crabbing ships. Like he's not just any crabber. We see that. But like even that gave Duncan a more credibility to what his thoughts are, to him believing in himself that he can win this tournament, which is the biggest thing in the world for him right now. But he believes, even though he's done nothing in terms of being a knight, in terms of any tourneys, he still has that glimmer of hope that, hey, I can win this thing. I know that I can, despite having zero evidence of him being able to do that. And then we see throughout the show that he realizes, oh shit, there's levels to this. Even so, he's battling with that. He's battling with the confidence of and optimism of, hey, I can do this. I can do this. I can win, and my life will be different, and things will start to go well for me. And then he's wrestling with, who the hell am I to think that I can do this? I'm a nobody. I have a damn rope for a belt. I don't even have good clothes. I don't even have armor. So that is who Sir Duncan is. He has that relentless optimism, belief in himself, and belief in the world that he can make a good difference. And we see that throughout the show. That is what modern fantasy is lacking. Optimism. Optimism for the future. Optimism that, hey, what I'm doing actually matters. We get a glimpse of that here. What else is so great about Sir Duncan? He takes the vows of being a knight so seriously, despite him not even being a knight, which is crazy. Despite that, he has 4 pages in the Kingsguard book filled with all his deeds that he did. And he wasn't even a knight. He was never even dubbed as a knight, yet he is one of the greatest knights in the history of Westeros. We see his beginnings. We see that, hey, I'm a nobody, but still, I am going to keep my vows of knighthood, and in this case, protect the innocent, despite what could happen to me. When Sir Duncan rushed into that puppet tent and was beating the crap out of Arryn, that was so satisfying. That was satisfying for not only me, but everyone who was watching it. They're like, yes, 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 get him. And it pisses you off that he's held back by Arryn's guards. And it took like 5 of them to hold back Sir Duncan. But he was upholding what he knew to be right. He had the bravery to do that, to punch a prince, to kick a prince, beat up a prince, save the innocent lady who was there, the puppet girl, despite what might happen to him, just because of the fact that he knew it was right. And he didn't back down. He didn't back down from that afterwards either. That's another thing that I admire about Sir Duncan. He's just brave in general, even though he may not, even though he's like stupid or not as smart as everyone, or maybe not as cunning in the politics and pleasantries of the world. But he is, despite that, he is not afraid to speak his mind, his thoughts, to be truthful in what he's thinking and doing and saying, no matter who it is. We see that first with Lionel Baratheon, this lord, this legendary lord of the 7 kingdoms, Lionel Baratheon, the Laughing Storm. And this nobody has somehow found his way into Lionel's tent, and when Lionel challenges him on it, he's just honest. He's like, I'm here for food. And Lionel respects that. They become friends. Same thing with Baelor Targaryen. Multiple times he has the balls to go up and say, kneel down before him and talk to him like he's a regular person. Talk to Baelor like he's a regular person. Pleading with him, do you remember my master? Do you remember my knight, Sir Arlen of Pennytree? Luckily, Baelor did. And he's brave to speak his mind no matter who it is that he's talking to. We see that again with Baelor as Duncan got arrested and he's talking to Baelor after his arrest, after he spent the night in a cell. And he's like, I did what I knew to be right. I protected the innocent. And through that fearlessness, despite going up against a Targaryen prince, despite talking to the heir of the Iron Throne, he doesn't care. He knows what's right, so he speaks his mind for that. And that, obviously, since Baelor is a good man, it moved Baelor. He's like, holy crap, look at this hedge knight. He is setting an example for all of us. He's a better man than all of us. Let me check myself. And then, obviously, Prince Baelor, takes Duncan's side, which is great. He's brave, courageous, unrelenting. And then we get to the fight. To add on to Sir Duncan's bravery, his courage, this dude had no armor. I don't know if you guys realize that. I didn't realize it the first time I watched the episode. It kind of just went over my head. I watched it a second time, and I was like, this dude is not wearing armor in this battle. He can't afford armor. All he has is a helmet, a little neck guard thing, gauntlets, maybe shin guards, and his tiny little shield. That's it. And he's going into a joust. He's got chainmail, but chainmail is not plated armor. Chainmail does not offer that much protection, as we see as the fight progresses. But despite that, despite not having armor, despite not being able to afford armor, screw it, we ball. I'm going in, I'm fighting against all these men, these trained men, princes who've been trained by the best of the best. And then the white cloaks, who are the best of the best, who got chosen to protect the royal family. And he, a nobody, who's never been in a tournament, who's never fought like this before, he's like, screw it. I know what I did was right. I am going to still stand up. I'm not backing down. I'm not taking the easy way out. I don't care. What I did was right. I know it's right. Screw it. I'm going in there, even without armor, against all these people who all of them have plated armor. All of them are trained. All of them have better experience than him. He didn't care. And he went in, got his ass kicked, but he kept getting up. He kept getting up. Some people despise the little flashback. They're like, oh, that's cheap. How could they do that in the middle of the fight? The fight would have lasted 5 minutes, people. But I thought it was good. I thought it was a good flashback that added to the story, that reaffirmed who Duncan is. And why did so many people connect to that episode, to that scene? Get up, get up, get up. Obviously, it's great to watch it, to experience it, but at the same time, I think a lot of people hope that that could be them if they were in, maybe not this situation, but a situation where they're fighting for something that they believe in, that even if they do get knocked down, that they will have the courage, the strength to keep getting up, because life is brutal for anybody, People have different problems. Obviously, my problems aren't the same as a medieval knight from the Seven Kingdoms. But, like, everyone has problems. Everyone has these big challenges that will come across them throughout life. And I think a lot of people watching this show can relate to Sir Duncan, who are like, man, life keeps shitting on me. But also hope and pray and wishes that they could have that same strength as Sir Duncan to keep getting back up, to keep fighting, to keep going on, to realize that, or to believe that their actions make a difference. I think that's why so many people are loving this show, are loving Sir Duncan. It is a relatable character, and a character that we need so badly today. I'm tired of the crap fantasy. This is great fantasy. Like Sir Duncan the Tall, Jon Snow, Aragorn, those masculine, unrelenting, courageous, strong, noble male characters, leaders, fighters that are unashamed in their strength, unashamed of their masculinity, of their leadership, of what they're doing, their confidence. We need that more and more and more. Stories like that stick with people. They inspire people. They make people believe in a better future, in a better world, that they too can make a difference. It's something that is needed not only for men, but women too. Like, everyone can benefit from a story like this. This is what we needed in fantasy. And I am so happy. That we got a character like Sir Duncan the Tall, because it has been lacking. It has been very much lacking. We got that good character to look up to aspire to be, to take traits from and apply it to your own life. That's what good stories do. They inspire people. And we've got so many nihilistic shows nowadays, so many shows that are trying to bat down men in particular. And this isn't a woe is me, let me see representation of straight white men. No, that's not what this is. The fact of the matter is we need good role models, especially for these people coming up nowadays. We need optimistic role models. We need heroism again. And although Sir Duncan didn't get killed, he was very close to it. Like I said, this isn't necessarily a happy ending, but it is a hopeful ending. And there is so much that can be taken away from this short little show that you can watch in one night in 3 hours. It's like a big old movie. There's so much to learn from it, and most of it, actually no, just like even a portion of it can be learned from Sir Duncan the Tall. There are so many good characters in this show, so many deep, authentic characters. This writing was great. This story was great. The characters throughout this short series were great. Sir Duncan the Tall was one of those. There's much to be learned. Heroism, courage, noble, good. Those are all embodied in Sir Duncan the Tall. This once nameless person who kept believing in himself, in the greater good, in having hope for the world, and then obviously making a name for himself, making a difference, getting 4 pages in that book, having his name told for years and years and years after he has passed on. He is a legend in the Game of Thrones history books, and I see why. I'm so glad we got this show. I'm so glad we got Sir Duncan the Tall at the time that we did, especially in this drought of terrible fantasy shows. This was so refreshing. This felt great. It was fun to watch. I was excited to come back to this every week to see what would happen. Sir Duncan the Tall is a great character, a great knight, a great man, and I think there is so much to be learned from this fictional character. That's all I really have to say about Sir Duncan the Tall. I loved this show so much, so I'm sure I might be having more videos that talk about it, because this show, honestly, I think will be the greatest show of this year. I certainly know that this has been my favorite show in the past couple years. I've had so much fun being able to follow this story, to follow this good character, this noble character. It has been a blast. Not to mention all the other characters, which, by the way, if you do want me to make a video on any of those characters as well, whether it be Baelor or Lionel Baratheon or even Egg, I would be happy to do that. But only if you guys want that. Because there's so many good characters. Or Raymond, him too. Their characters are just great. Even the bad characters, like Arian, is such a complex character, and it's interesting to dive deeper into why he does what he does. I love this show a lot, and obviously a lot of other people do too. Just looking at the ratings on like IMDb or whatever, getting 9.9s, which is crazy. But yeah, if you guys want to see me do another video where I talk about a certain character specifically, why I love them, what can be learned from them, why they are so great, I'd be happy to do that. Just let me know down in the comments. And yeah, if you have any other thoughts on this topic, on this show, on Sir Duncan the Tall, please leave those down in the comments as well. I love reading through what you guys have to say. It's always a blast. I'm sure I'll be looking at them. If you do want to see similar stuff where I talk about fantasy shows, series, or talking about different movies, new and old, please go check out my channel. See if there's anything else that you like. I had fun talking about Sir Duncan. I had a blast watching this show. And I'm sad that it's over. But you know, I'm glad that we got this. I'm glad we got this. It was a great show, and I'm excited for what they do next. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching this far. Make sure to give it a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.